Hey everybody, what's up? It's me, Jerry, and let me think about this. It's Thursday night, right? Friday internationally, but it's Thursday night. Boy, I've got some games for you. So I said that. I got some games for you. This is our tape delay scoreboard pick show, scoreboard shows tomorrow night. And our big game tomorrow night. Notice I said that. Our big game tomorrow night. We will get to that. I give you my word. We will get to that. What's the game tomorrow night? Well, you're about to find out. Some of you already know what the big game is. If you watched last week's show, you know what the big game is. But if you don't, well, you're about to find out over time. And the fact is always in place. Our West Virginia Metro News score app. Folks, as I always say, we get nothing. We get nothing for recommending it. We just like to recommend it. And it gives the Metro News score app some free advertisement. Like I said, we got nothing for recommending it. Some of the big games we're talking about this week. Martinsburg and Morgantown. Folks, this is our Quad A division, just for the record. We always start at Quad A, but to start off with this one, I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not really looking for an upset. I'm looking for Martinsburg. And but it's gonna be tight, 8. Now when I say tight, I mean tight. Whew, it's gonna be interesting. Here's one: Quad A versus Triple A versus Quad A. And this game's gonna be tight. Another tight game here, the way I think. Bridgeport going to Parkersburg South. Bridgeport's taking the long trip down to Parkersburg. And like I said, this game's going to be tight. 8. And I'm going to say Bridgeport by a field goal. And I believe that Bridgeport's going to get scored on in this game. Really do. We're going to stay with the Parkersburg. Parkersburg taking a trip to George Washington. Scary if you ask me. But I like George Washington, believe it or not, at home. That'll be quite interesting in its own right. We got one here. Southern Hagerstown, Maryland, which is U.S. territory. We always have to mention that when we mention an out-of-state team. Going as Jefferson. Let me think about this one. I'm gonna go out of state on this one. I'm gonna say Southern Hagerstown, Maryland over at Jefferson. I think that'll be quite interesting enough. We got another announcement to make too. Another U.S. territory squad. University, West Virginia, going up to Connorsville, PA, which is U.S. territory. I have to mention it every single time. That is part of the Geneva Rule, and as part of the Geneva Rule and part of the international law, Geneva Rule Conventions, and the international law rules and discretionary. And this game is going to be in PA. So that's right above us. It's right above Morgantown there. So that's a good little trip for University of Morgantown. I believe it or not, I know I'm going to go again. I know I'm going to probably get it crazy in this point. But I'm going to go with Connor's Silver PA over University. Really think that for some strange, odd reason, it just kind of gets to me. Hedgesville headed up to Liberty, Maryland, which is also U.S. territory. You seem like we're getting a lot of Maryland and PA games tonight, so we're going to be mentioning a lot of U.S. territory for the record. First time I'm going to come back to West Virginia, I'm going to say Hedgesville. I've been given 2 out-of-state teams and win over West Virginia teams. You know how it is. Our final game in our Quad A division, Kaplan, Midland, and Musselman. Ooh. Both teams have not won a game all season. And I look for Musselman to pick up their first win of the year. Really do on that one. Those are your quad games of the week. Now we go into our AAA matchups. This is the one everybody's been talking about. This is the one a lot of people in a lot of different circles have been talking about this week. Wheeling Park, Quad A, coming to Fairmont Senior. I see Fairmont Senior winning this big time, but I don't knock Wheeling Park out of this match. We got a score to talk about. What score? Let's go ahead and show it to you while we have. Like I said, what score? Hedges, Herbert Huber all over Wayne in the fourth quarter. That is fourth quarter action, but I figure that's going to be a final 42-0. Believe that probably would, at this particular point in time, that would be close to a final. So we're going to call that 42-0 as the final fourth quarter action as comments. North Marion going to Elkins. Now, both of these teams have had it pretty rough this year. Both of these teams have had it pretty rough this year. And I like Elkins over North Marion. Believe it or not, I'm looking for the upset. Another Quad A versus AAA matchup. Huntington taking a swing down the Spring Valley. I look for Huntington. Easy. Greenbrier East. And Oak Hill. Let me think about this one, because this is kind of interesting. I like Oak Hill, believe it or not, at home. Another Quad A versus Double A match. Triple A match. Roger Wilson going to Riverside. I look for Roger Wilson. Pretty interesting there. Lincoln County, Double A going to Nitro. I'll give it to Nitro. Easy. Hurricane, Quad A, going to Capital. Let me think about this one. I like Hurricane, believe it or not, I really do. We got to mention another one here. Where location, Ohio? Coming to Point Pleasant. Ohio is U.S. territory. We still have to keep mentioning that because of the international law and Geneva Rule Convention rules that we follow. I really don't know much about this weird location, Ohio, but I'll give the nod to them over Point Pleasant. I really do. I don't know, it's just the way I feel. Kaiser headed for John Marshall. I'll give it to Kaiser. Liberty Regional Double A versus Shadyside. My luck's been kind of running crazy this year, so if I gotta give the nod, I'm I'm going to give it to Liberty Regional. I'm going to give it to the AA team. That's quite interesting in its own right. Buchanan Upshur at Lewis County. Now, this is a game I'd like to be at, man. This is a rivalry. This is a rivalry. Believe it or not, this is one of these few rivalries that we get every year. This is one of the few rivalries we like to have every year. But we just can't get to Lewis County or Upshur County. We just can't get there. So you gotta settle with what we can get to. This is close. I'm gonna call this my field goal game of the night. First one we've done. In AAA, that is. I like Lewis County, believe it or not. And our next game, St. Albans at South Charleston. Now I'll give it to South Charleston, here's my way of thinking about it, because they're home. And our final game in our AAA division, East Fairmont at Weir. I like East Fairmont, believe it or not, really do. Those are your AAA games of the week. AA. And we got several to talk about here, so let's get into this conversation big time. Brook AAA going against Frankfurt. I like Frankfurt, believe it or not. St. Mary's at Williamstown. I'll give it to Williamstown easy. Independence at Westside. I'll give it to Westside easy. Our game of the week. You know how I said that? No, say that again. Our game of the week. And it's gonna be a doozy, folks. And when I say doozy, I mean, whoa, baby, look out, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll. Your game of the week is Dodgers County at South Harrison. Our game of the week. And we will actually show that. Our game of the week. Single A. But this, we can even take this thing a step further, because this game is a rivalry. Now, I like South Harrison, believe it or not, and here are the reasons why. This game's going to be tight. There's going to be no question about it. I mean, this game's going to come down to OT or a three-pointer. This is our other three-pointer game. This is our first three-pointer in the AA division. But I'm going to tell you the reason. I'm going to explain what I'm talking about. Dodgers County has only won at South Harrison twice in the history of this rivalry. But hang on. Dodgers County has only won 3 times at Dodgers County. So Dodgers County is at South Harrison. So here's the way you look at it. Here's the way I'm looking at it. You can look at it any way you want. Both these teams are ranked. And I'd have to do a little bit more study on when they're ranked and what they do. But if history holds up, South Harrison should win this. But don't count Dodgers County out. And like I said, that is tomorrow night, right here on the Football Circus Show. Love to be there. I mean, hey, we are going to be there. But we're going to love this game. We're going to be there tomorrow night. When I said love to be there, I apologize for that, because I wasn't really thinking. Steubenville, Catholic, Ohio, which is U.S. territory, coming to Wheeling Central. Like this, like Wheeling Central, believe it or not. Ripley, AAA against Sistersville. I give it to Ripley easily. Liberty Harrison on the road to Wyoming East. I'll give it to Liberty, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I'll give it to Liberty. Easy. I'll give it to Liberty easy. I think Liberty can. The way they're playing, they might make the playoffs this year, which I hope they do. Braxton County at Nicholas County. Gotta give it to Nicholas County easy. Tyler Consolidated up against Oak Green. Look for Tyler Consolidated easy. Greenbrier West going to James Morrison. Tight 8. And I mean tight 8. I like James Morrison by a field goal. Robert C. Bird going up against Lincoln. Triple A versus Double A. I'll give the nod to RCB. That's the way I look at it. Most people may disagree with me, but that's the way I look at it. Logan at Scott. I give it to Scott easy. In our last game in our Double A division, Bluefield in Pikeview. Let me think about this. I like Bluefield, believe it or not, over Pikeview, but only by a touchdown. Those are your Class Double A games of the week, and don't forget about our game of the week. Dodgers County comes to South Harrison. Yes, we will be in Lost Creek tomorrow night. So we're looking forward to that. Yes. Down to our single-way battles now. Ritchie County at Wham. I give it to Wham. Easy. This is a game everybody's been talking about, folks. And I mean, a lot of people have been talking about this one as well. Moorfield at Tucker County. I like Tucker County, believe it or not. But they say it's going to be an interesting game. That's what a lot of people have been telling me. So look for this one. Riverview at Tigers Valley. Another tight 8 game here in Riverview. If you remember, it's coming off a loss last week, so they're looking for a win. So I'm going to give it to Riverview, believe it or not. Valley Wetzel headed up to Cameron. Tight 8 here too. If I got to give the nod, I will give it to Valley Wetzel, but only by a touchdown. Man, and Sherman. I like Sherman, believe it or not. Meadowbridge at Clay Patel. I like Meadowbridge, believe it or not. Clay County, Double A against Calhoun County. I'll give it to Clay Patel easy. Hampshire at Hampshire Triple A at East Hardin. If I got to go anywhere, I'm gonna go with Hampshire. Believe it or not, I am looking at that quite one. This is a game. Our very next game. This in my circles, my football circles, a lot of people have been talking about this match. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why, but they say that this game's going to be the hot ticket. Madonna versus Belver Hills, Ohio. Now, in my circles that I hang around with, in the football circles, that is, I hang around with a lot of people, but this has been highly talked about. This particular game up in the Panhandle, this particular game up in Ohio, but this game's going to be in a Panhandle match. I'm going to take Madonna. Even though I've been... by the way, Bill Silver's Ohio is U.S. territory. I have to mention that again. For international law and Virginia rule conventions. But everybody that I've talked to has told me the same thing over and over and over. This one's going to be close. Because these two teams, this is almost like a rivalry between these two teams. So this is going to be a very watch game. I'm going to give it to Madonna by a touchdown, but that's about the size of it. Putnam County versus Tuggers Valley. Putnam County against Tuggers Valley. I like Putnam County, I like Payton County, believe it or not, I really do. Wright at Pocahontas County, I like Wright County, believe it or not. I got a double A versus single A here. Ravenswood double A against Gilmer County. I'm going to give it to Gilmer County, believe it or not. Got another Ohio team here to talk about, which is U.S. territory for international law, Virginia Rule Conventions. Frontiers, Ohio. We talked about this team before. They're coming to Mingo, and I look for Frontiers, Ohio to walk all over Mingo, really do. We got another U.S. territory to talk about, which is Bill, Kentucky, Hornest. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but they're coming to McLean. Yeah, I gotta go with Mount McLean here. Very interesting. Buffalo at Mount View. And I apologize for anybody who watches in Kentucky for not being able to pronounce that last part, and I apologize for that, but at least I spelled it right. I'll give me that much credit. But I do hope that it's a great game there, but I'm gonna give it to Montclair just because of the discretion there, because it doesn't show what kind of record they have. Buffalo at Mount View, like I said, I like Mount View. I'll take the Buffalo over Mount View, believe it or not. It's going to change up a little bit. And our next game is 100 at Payton City. I like Payton City, believe it or not. And our last game in our single A division, I keep screwing this up. Tulsa at Van. I like Tulsa, believe it or not, really do, but I'm going to call that a field goal ball game. Those are, folks, your quad A, double A, so quad A, triple A, double A, and single games of the week in the great state of West Virginia. I hope games in your part of the country are just as good as they are here. As usual, about this time, we're going to start looking for any scores we can throw you. So, just give us a few minutes to figure this mess out, see what we are. There's always got to be something on this TV. We do have a college game to talk about. And yeah, this is the one thing I do like about the new cable system. We don't have to switch it, we can just look at it. James Morrison all over Coastal Carolina at halftime, 29-7. That's on ESPN2. Please check your local listings and times for games in your area. But like I said, right now, Coastal Carolina, James Madison all over Coastal Carolina, 29-7. Wow. That's on ESPN2. As we go through and see what else we've got cooking for scores. No. We have a Major League Baseball game. Let's see if we can get back to that. No, we have to go down for that one. Okay, we have a Major League